I wanted to talk to you about rapport building because building strong relationships with KOLs, it's an art, but it also has, a science behind it, and every MSL can deploy. So you're here to share with us some best practices about building rapport with KOLs. What would you say is a first best practice?
I would say building relationships is critical. Throughout my career, I analogized it, with those in the real estate industry and what they consider as their three most important words. And because my father was in the real estate industry for almost 40 years, I learned a lot of what happens behind the scene. And the thing that I would always learn was it was always location, location, location in the real estate industry. And in our industry, irrespective of being on the medical side or the commercial side, we find this one commonality in the field. The three most important words for us who are field-based are relationships, relationships, relationships.
So talk to us about how those relationships are built, and are there any tricks to building rapport, even quicker? Like you can't have a 5-year relationship in 1 year, but are there tricks to really build instant rapport and bring their guard down?
There are hundreds of representatives that our providers are meeting with, and we can distinguish ourselves as MSLs by building strong relationships. And this takes time. I usually tell MSLs that I mentor, give it a year, give it 2 years, allow yourself to build those strong relationships because what you reap from that investment will be long-term. The second thing I would say is KOL and HCP touch points should never be a checking the box every month to meet, your metrics. And I find that happening in our world, because there's a lot of pressure to meet those metrics. And we should never do that because the KOLs can read through all of that as well. And lastly, and this is a quote, and as I was putting my thoughts together that I'd like to share, that would be leadership wants metrics, but the best relationships resist easy quantification.
I hear you that the KOL can't feel like you're checking a box. That's one way to destroy a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
If they feel like you're that, because I've heard that from MSLs. They're like, I don't want to just burn up relationships. So as we're building that relationship, even though we do have to contact them, to hit metrics, is there a trick that we can do so they don't feel like we're just checking a box?
I would say just genuinely be a resource to them. You're not pestering them just to check the box, but that you're coming in, be it the data. But again, caveat there, we don't want to be dumping the data all the time. There's so much within the industry and the medical organization and as a company that we can offer to the HCP, be it opportunities. And of course, all of this is compliantly done to create awareness for advisory boards, gauging their interest. Are they interested in advisory or participating in journal club programs or being a potential clinical trial site for one of the studies that are going on in the different phases? So these are things that we need to consider outside of just, okay, I'm here to present the data. No, there's so much that can be offered. I know a lot of KOLs in the academic environment that are always asking about grants and, hey, do you have a grant for this or that? And so we can guide them to the appropriate internal colleague to, help with, that desire. And by doing so, you're seeing yourself as a resource beyond just the data.
Yeah. So make sure you're bringing value.